Hey, colleagues. Just a thought around change management and just a thought around how do we get our staff to do certain things, whether these are compliance matters, whether these are curriculum matters, whatever the case may be. I believe it's so important that when you introduce changes at school, that it is followed by a monitoring process. So it means by which you are checking that people are executing what you have set as expectations. And I've seen many times, and I've been guilty of this, where I communicate expectations, I communicate things that need to change, I communicate what needs to be done, I'm clear about what needs to be done. And maybe for day one and for day two, after that communication, staff are doing what you've asked of them, but soon after that, the implementation fizzes away and people go back to their old habits. And I am convinced that the way that you circumvent that and avoid that from happening is to have a monitoring process in place. So when you plan the change management and plan new procedures or new expectations that are going to be made, you need to plan in the monitoring as well. And sometimes the monitoring can be extremely simple and it doesn't take much time. One of the things that I recall as a very simple change management thing that needed to happen, and how I showed that I was monitoring that process, is that staff needed to sign in at school in the morning and sign out when they leave in the afternoon. And this is a legal document, we all know this. And we need to make sure that staff need to make sure that they complete it accurately. But they need to do it when they come in the morning so that it's accurate, and when they leave. But we know what our staff sometimes do is they sign in for a couple of days, or they don't sign in and they sign in at the end of the week, those types of habits. So I spoke to the staff about it, that they need to sign in when they get there and they need to sign out when they leave. And obviously when I had said this, some staff started doing it as the expectation was laid out, but some were not. And just something simple that I did was, in the morning, when staff have moved to class and the morning is settled, I would walk past the attendance register with a highlighter, and I would just highlight the blocks that were not completed. So people that did not sign in the morning. I knew they were there, and they were there. That's not the issue. The issue was that they needed to sign in. And I just highlighted the block. That's all I did, just highlighted. In the afternoon, I was generally the last person to leave in the afternoon. And I would do the same thing. The people that didn't sign out in the afternoon, I would highlight in the block. And what made the highlighter so effective is that although tomorrow morning or later in the day when the person sees the attendance register, or the next time they sign in, they will see the highlighting and they will complete the times that they came in or they left, but the highlighter doesn't disappear, but I can also see what they wrote in there. And it shows staff that you are checking the expectations that you have set. And with time, you don't need to highlight anymore. With time, the habit and the culture starts of that needing to happen. So my skill for you today, and it's something I think you need to be mindful of every time you implement something, is what is the monitoring that is happening afterwards? Because it's the monitoring that tells our staff that this is important to you as a school leader, and especially the changes that you are making, that you are looking to have an impact on learner performance, the way your school runs. It becomes very important. So be mindful of the monitoring. Don't forget the monitoring. The planning without the monitoring may not be as effective. Have an awesome day, colleagues. Lead strong.